Fine. I hope you fucking behave. Oh no, I actually just liked how you looked and not you. Which is gonna be something that comes back later. Let's feel better and also be celibate, I guess, right? I was only seeing, oh fuck, how do I even explain this?
Them talk while we lie in the grass. It flatters the world even if it won't last. Forgive me if I was too forward, too fast.
Can you have a hoe phase and be practicing self-love at the same time? I want to say yes. I want to say there is so much on women to protect and preserve their sexual energy, but I can't help but be suspicious this is unintentionally rooted in more patriarchal control. But then there's also the question of, doth the lady protest too much? As in, am I trying to defend my behavior because I know there's a lot of settling within this phase too. You see how messy all of this is? Disclaimer up front, I want to be clear that I'm not talking about any one specific past partner or partners when I talk about relationships or breakups or heartbreak within this video. That is in part out of wanting to respect the privacy of others, as well as to protect me to a degree. If any of those non-specific people end up watching this video, and if you are here, hello. You. Disclaimer 2, this video is going to be discussing and referencing intimate relationships and the existence of X, E, S backwards. So, if you are under the age of 18, or you are my family, or know me through my family, or know me professionally, or if you would rather just not know this information about me, then I kindly invite you to watch any of the other videos on my channel, but to please step away from this one for both of us. Yes, please and thank you. And then my notes just say qui apostrophe ah, which was when Kiki sat on my keyboard.
Oh my God, I can't breathe. Okay, sit down. No, I can't sit down. I'm too... Oh my God, he kissed me.
Who kissed you?
The Lord, Mama.
Oh, okay then.
Some of the things that kept me from having a from not kissing anyone until I was 18 was that I grew up in the U.S. and I had a very Christian coded environment. It's not that my parents were evangelical; they were what I would call like liberal Christians. But there was, if not in my family per se, explicitly enforced, there is a culture of purity and slut shaming for women that was very much upheld in my school and my friendship groups, and I even upheld it at the time myself against other people. So the way that I would describe my dating history is tumbleweeds. The first kiss that I had at 18, I don't know if I would say that was my boyfriend, but we were hanging out for a month or so. Other than before that, it was just so many unrequited crushes on my part. Just me just having these massive crushes on people that would last years, and they either had a girlfriend or I was too afraid to tell them how I felt, you know, just the classics. I would say in LA when I was starting university, I had zero game. But this was also the time in which YouTube had become a big part of my life. So my crushes shifted from not just people, you know, that I went to school or university with, but with internet people. So then I went from not only having like unrequited crushes IRL, but having unrequited crushes URL. I was able to connect more with the internet boys than I was with like the boys in real life, because I felt safer. Like I don't want to say safer, but I was more confident being able to like chat to someone on Skype or like over text through the internet than I was like face to face. So high school Marion, no boyfriend. Los Angeles University Marion, no boyfriend. So she was sexually frustrated. And then I went to London, and a lot of the once online crushes became people that they were UK based, so I could like meet them in person. And oh man, when I moved to London, it was fun. I'm still like, oh my god, I can like show myself just like grinning right now, just like remembering all of the male attention I was getting from like internet people that I admired, or I was like working out my feelings for them. We had like, you know, talked for ages. And yeah, like it, like, you know, highs and lows. There were people that I pursued where it wasn't reciprocated. Like once I was physically there, they were like, oh, actually no, it was better when you were just online. Devastating at the time, but you know, that's fair. I'm allowed to have the same reaction. Like maybe I liked someone online and then I met them in person and I was like, actually no. OkCupid was the dating app at the time. And this was still when there was like a stigma against dating apps, but I was already on the internet, like talking to strangers on the internet. So dating apps were nothing to me. And through that, I met my first partner, who ended up being a longtime partner. So from there, like my first official relationship ended up being a long-term relationship that I really thought was gonna be like a forever relationship. It lasted through the end of university, through the majority of my 20s. And I kind of like became an adult within that relationship. Here's the thing, like before I had kind of like, I felt like I didn't really date. Like I had crushes on people, but I was like in high school and university. I have the experience now that I can like take into other relationships that I didn't have before. Like before I was just like, what is going on? There's such a discussion around like dating app culture now too. Not everyone is on it for the same reason. People get like dating app fatigue and they're just like, oh, I just want to meet someone like in person in the real world, and totally valid. But for me, yeah, I love dating apps because to me, kind of prefer, but like I love texting people. I love communicating digitally with people. I've been like crafting how to have conversations with people online since like I was teeny tiny, right? Like I'm good at it. Like I'm a fucking funny texter. So when everyone was like, well, I just want to meet people in person, I'm like, it's really hard to meet me in person. And also it's exposed me to meeting so many different kinds of people that I never would have met in my own circle. So I'm really grateful for that. I had a very eventful December 2019 through January and February of 2020. Now, let's pay close attention to those dates, folks. What sets in around March 2020? Anyone? Yeah, that's right, the panini. So I was like, you know, flying high. It was similar, you know what? It was similar to when I moved to London when I was a student, having a hot girl summer, but in January. So then how do I go from, you know, like I'm walking on sunshine, whoa, at the beginning of 2020, pandemic happens, have some, make some peak life experiences. But I get to the end of 2020, the dating stopped being fun.
Y'all ever meet the love of your life and then out of nowhere, boom, you meet another one? Maybe I'm just a hoe.
I first took a break from dating apps for 6 months in 2021. And I've titled this in my notes as sentenced to 6 months hard labor. As in, like, that's what taking those 6 months off in 2021 was for me. Let me explain. Here are the examples of what I was liking on TikTok at the end of 2020 to get inside, like, where was Marian's head?
This one goes out to the guy who just died, even though he hasn't texted to confirm or deny. He really had an effect in many different ways, even though we only spoke for 10 days. I wish you luck in purgatory. Funny how a ghost can still watch all my stories. Guys are always like, don't date a woman with daddy issues. Okay, but have you ever met a man with daddy issues? Women with daddy issues will just dance for money. Guys with daddy issues will tell you they love you and then disappear for a year. You could have 6 of their kids and they'd still be like, I just don't know what I want right now. Then they randomly get angry when you're like, hey, can you pass the popcorn? They're like, I'll never be enough for you. And you're like, you're inside of me. What?
I don't know specifically who need to hear this, but just use your toy. Don't call that fool. Lead them right where they at. You will get to where you need to go with the toy.
I can make rash decisions. It's one of the things I love about myself. Sometimes it also gets me in trouble. But I saw this TikTok that was like, delete all your like social media apps for 6 months and like come back and see what happens. So I was like, yes, I'm gonna do this. This is my sign from the universe. I'm gonna delete all my social media off my phone. Like can't permanently delete things, guys. I'm gonna take myself off dating apps for 6 months and I'm gonna see what happens. The things I wanted to work on were examining my relationship with wanting to seek validation, especially from men through dating. And I wanted to look at the ways in which I was codependent. This was also, again, like perfect opportunity for me to like shave my head. And then within that, when I like shaved my head, which by the way, I've made an entire video about it, like almost like me shaving my head kept me accountable to that goal in a kind of messed up way. Because I was like, well, I'm afraid if I, you know, break this promise that I've made to myself early, even if I went back on dating apps, like I would be less desirable because I don't have the like long, pretty feminine hair that I associate that men desire. Oh, we got the flashing. Oh, in case you were wondering, I've just talked for 32 gigabytes of time, so that'll be fun to edit. Where were we? We were probably talking about how I really wanted men to validate me, so I felt good about myself, and how I was introduced to the concept of codependence and being like, oh shit, I'm all of those things. What I did within that time, shaved my head. I read some self-help books, as you do. One of them was Single is Your Superpower. It's about trying to find like your why, like why are you dating? And yeah, I felt like I did not have a why. Why am I doing this? Like, because I want male attention, which is how I feel about that. Yeah, it's because I like wanted like attention from men. And it's like, why? And it's like, because that's how I was conditioned by the patriarchy. And I was like, maybe we should look at that. The other book that I read was Codependent No More. I actually didn't get through it all the way. And there was also some religious tones in it. So there were parts of it that I did find valuable, and there were other bits that I'm very sensitive to anything that's very like Christianity pushing. But that's my own like triggers and upbringings. But it didn't mean that you couldn't get good things out of that book. I think I also at this time read a book called Thriving in Non-Monogamy, which I recommend to everyone, even if you are like, I'm going to be monogamous for life. I have zero interest in non-monogamy. I still think this book and having the language from it was just, yeah, like invaluable to all relationship styles. Through being on a specific dating app called Field, I was basically introduced to a little more at close contact the idea of non-monogamous relationships, polyamorous relationships. When I started looking into my attachment to male romantic and sexual validation, it was very much adjacent to topics like compulsive heterosexuality and compulsory heterosexuality and compulsory monogamy, and really trying to look at how much of this have I been told is what is supposed, like this is how relationships are supposed to be, and you're supposed to be happy in this, and if you deviate from this, like you're dirty or bad or, you know, whatever other slew of negative words you want to assign. Yeah, I was just giving myself the freedom to be like, what do I actually want? Like if there are no more rules, and if I'm able to operate from a very like respectful, open communication place, and like everything is open to me, like what path do I feel led to go down? So yes, I was open to meeting people that were in open relationships, open marriages, that were polyamorous, because I wanted to learn from people that had like lived experiences of those things. I was meeting all of those people in 2020, and I read, in my time off from dating apps, I read that book. Was the point of that very long, what is it called? They're screaming it while they're watching it. Not segue, tangent. Thank you. The big question for me during the 2021 6 months of no dating. I'm saying this because I'm about to talk about 22 when I did a year of no dating. Yes, circular saw. Yes, it does. Yes. The question that I kind of wanted to preface the whole thing with for those 6 months is like, who am I when I am not dating? Who am I when I'm not with a partner or chasing a crush? Which are actually really big questions for me, because I can't remember a time in which I didn't feel like a huge part of my life and my brain space was occupied by having a crush on someone, or thinking that like, you know, one of my big end goals in life was to like have a life partner and to like build a life with them. So to take all of that off the table and be like, who am I when like I'm not pursuing someone else to a degree, when like everything is like, that's just not there. Like, what do I do? What are my thoughts when that happens? And basically I wasn't ready. I spent those 6 months, and again, like no judgment to 2021 Marian is where she was. My answer was kind of like, oh, when dating is not on the table, who am I? Well, the who am I was, I'm waiting for dating to be back on the table. And that was kind of like, well, that's a bit disappointing. But it's where I was at the time. And that is okay. So I go back to dating for the second half of 2021 on dating apps. Then we get into the Maddie Drosbeck effect.
I didn't want people to know that I was like deeply hurting and impacted by my dating life. It felt stupid. Like, why am I so bothered by all of this? I didn't want it to seem like I was as hurt as I was. I think especially when you are a confident, charismatic person, it's easy to have a good first date. Sometimes you have a good first date because you are a good conversationalist and not because this person is the love of your life. You can envision it, and because you can envision it, you're like, here it is. Here's the thing I wanted. Before even getting to the part where you figure out, like, emotionally, does this person give me what I need them to give me? Are we looking for the same things? Do I even like them? I knew I deserved love and that love is out there for me, but I'm not actually sure how to enforce my boundaries and look out for myself before things get really bad. And I definitely value what the people I date think of me over what I think of them.
Do I hate missing out, or hate the thought of you not missing me? See it still when I close my eyes. I go back to those summer nights, driving fast down a dead end road, staying out past the afterglow. Now you're laughing with someone new, doing things that we used to do, and I'm just someone you used to know, the outsider of an inside joke.
As soon as I watched that Maddie video, I was like, shit, I'm gonna do this. And I felt more energy and direction. That my question this time wasn't, who am I when I'm not dating? I saw that in the past when I had heartbreak, I was often looking to get over the heartbreak through replacing them with another person. And I think there is, something very real and, valid with helping yourself to heal from something by making new experiences with a new person that you connect with. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like I felt like, oh, I will fully be able to move on from so-and-so when I meet this imaginary potential person, because they will have qualities of that person and better. Again, a lot of reliance of things outside of me. And so my focus question for the 2022 year of no dating was, can I explore healing from heartbreak by not, replacing that heartbreak with another person? Like, what if the person, what if the person that I replace that pain with is me? What if I'm the fucking replacement? Or the replacement doesn't even need to be me. What if it's, a lot of it was about, and this comes into some of the learnings as well, was just slowly trying to explore, because I still feel discomfort in this, weirdly, which again is so emblematic of the ways that we have been, it's brainwashing for real. But trying to decentralize romance in my life. I was really uncomfortable with that because it was such a huge part of my identity. And I think a lot of women have been conditioned to center romantic relationships in their life. And I think it's from a place of wanting to control us. But anyway, what factors in my own life made me feel led to do this again? I did 6 months of not dating in 2021 and I was just waiting for it to be over. And then literally 6 months later, I'm like, you remember that thing that I really struggled through? I'm gonna do it again, but for double time. Why?
I'm your puppet. You control me. I'm your puppet. I don't know me. I'm your puppet. Control me.
But at some point, you come to your senses.
We're almost caught up to the present now. It's now 2022. I'm living it. I am in the middle of the year of no dating. If you watched my videos about me turning the comments off on all of my YouTube videos, I talk about loopholes. Well, there's loopholes in this one too. I said it was a year of no dating, but it was actually a year of no dating apps. It's essentially no dating for me because I'm not meeting people in person. I'm an introvert, I'm a homebody. It's really hard to meet me in real life. Now, if I did happen to meet someone in public, I wasn't gonna be like, no, I am not interacting with anyone romantically this year. Like, I was open to things. People could pursue me first, and then I could choose to respond or not. But I wasn't going to be the chaser because I can be a chaser. It's that anxious attachment style. No initiating, except that in the pandemic, I made some business cards. This is gonna be another video, but I made these business cards that just had my name and my phone number on it, and I was like, the purpose of those was to, if I saw someone cute in the wild, we were like socially distancing at the time, I could like write a little note to them on the card with my name and like give them my phone number, and then I could run away because socially anxious. So I let myself be like, and you could give someone a business, you could still give them the business card, even though that is initiating, but it's like those people don't have to respond to it. Those are my loopholes, okay? So, progress. Where are we now? I'm recording this August 26th of 2022. So there's 4 months left. So where are we at? We've done 12 minus 4. Oh my God. We've done 8 months? Yes. Whoo, that elementary math's getting rusty.
It was a fun, strange summer. I rolled on, didn't think of you. We lost touch with each other. Fall came and I had to move. Moving backwards, hurt comes after. Healing doesn't happen in a straight line. If I cry just a little and then laugh in the middle, if I hate you and I love you, then I change my mind.
What are my thoughts of having not dated for 8 months with the intention of still finishing out the full year? It was way easier this time than in 2021. I feel like the first 6 months were so easy. I kind of hit July, August, and I wouldn't say it's been harder, but maybe I'm getting to the point now where I feel like kind of ready to go back. Like I don't want to say I'm starting to like look forward to yeah, it's so interesting. Like I feel like I'm in a place where I could kind of like, I'm more okay with not being on them. Like when I got to the 2021, when I got to the end of my 2021 no dating, I was like, I'm so ready to be back. And now I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm looking forward to like opening myself up to those new experiences again. Hello, plane. But also if like dating apps stopped existing tomorrow, like I would also be okay. Which I feel like is kind of like, there's this quote that I've saved in my Notion where it's like, you are ready to start dating again when you don't give a shit if you do or not. And I'm not completely there yet, but I'm like way closer to that sentiment than I have ever been in my entire life, because I didn't mention this in my in the part where I was talking about my dating history, but I was always the girl in my friendship group, the boy crazy one in the friendship group. I was always like, who do you like? And like, I always had like, a slew of crushes. Like that was just a big part of me. If I am single forever and like actually thinking about that and like being okay with that, it's the first time in my life that I have reached. Like, I'm not like that every day, but the fact that I am like that some days, that's what a year of not dating can do for you. Okay, in the same vein, this is a thing where it's like, this bitch is so, she says she's one thing and then she says the complete opposite. It's like, yes, I'm human and I'm complex. I can be many things at once. So Casey Musgraves put out a new album, 2021? star-crossed. And there is this line that is, this line is me. And it is, healing doesn't happen in a straight line. So you can feel like you are completely at peace with an experience one day, and then the next day you are like, nope, I'm not at peace. I am very sad. You find yourself going through that same conversation with yourself again, where you're like, you are missing an idea of a person from a set point in time. They showed you that they are actually not that person, but you're missing the set point in time. And that person does not exist. That's an idea of that person, right? And it's just about having that repeated conversation with yourself. You don't always want to hear that conversation, but that's healing. It's like, it's not like this. It's like, I was watching Kidology, their stream the other day, and they were talking about how, what did they say? They were like, I don't just have crushes on people.
I don't have crushes, right? I fall in love. I'm one of those people. I fall for somebody and it literally lasts years and I cannot get over them. I was in love with the same woman like my entire teenage years. And yes, I'm one of those people who just, I sort of fall for one person and then it's just that person, just the whole time, irrespective of whether it is reciprocated or not. Sort of, that's it for me. So yes, I have now, on a personal note, been in love with the same person for about 2 years now. But yes, I'll just wait for it to pass. It'll pass. It always does. So it's okay.
Her saying that made me feel so much better. The thing that I find comfort in is that, like, there were people in high school and university where I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get over that person. And I look back, I think about those people now, and I feel so neutral, so at peace with those people. Like, the hurt really is healed, even though it doesn't feel like it in the moment, because I have experienced that healing with past people who I was like, these people are gonna haunt me for fucking ever. I trust that one day the people that there are still some wounds that open and close. Ew. One day they will be like those other people where I look back and I'm just like, memories and neutral and gratitude and like, it's okay. It's just like previous chapter, extra dusty chapter. We don't have answers about when they're going to become that neutral person in the past, but just trust that it will. And also, like, it's okay to still feel the hurt bits that still come up now too, and no judging the heartbreak that still shows up, because judging is the second arrow, right? The first arrow is the heartbreak existing. The second arrow is you being like, why is this heartbreak still here? So you're compounding. Yeah. Learned that one from Tara Brach. I have 2 minutes before I'm supposed to get on this phone call. So I'm going to pause here and then I'm going to come back and read you through the bullet points of what I learned in my 8 months so far, what I want to do with the final 4 months. Yes. See you in a bit.
Party.
Like a boss.